Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Randall, we got Ishan, we got Naeem, we got Edgar. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for being here in the chat. Do me a huge favor, smack up the like button here on your way in. Subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We're on the road to 19K now. It feels like it's been forever since I've been saying that, but I get it. What happens when you lose, a lot of people turn off. They don't want to really talk about this Arizona Cardinal team. But here we are, week in and week out, trying to grind it out and kind of get to the end of the season. Right now, we got 1 week away. 1 week away for Black Monday, and I'm just hoping, ladies and gentlemen, I'm hoping that Michael Bidwill, when doing his final evaluations, comes to a aha or a epiphany moment that says we cannot go into year 4 with the current state of this regime right now. I'm only hoping for it. I don't think it's going to happen because I'm giving them way too much credit. But at the end of the day, I'm just hoping and praying that that is what's going to happen next week. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we're 1 week away. We're 1 week away from Black Monday. Hallelujah. I mean, that's one thing we can celebrate, right? The season of the 2025 season is almost over. And it sucks, man. It sucks. I hate having to celebrate these dumb little things that really amount to kind of nothing because we've kind of already known. We kind of already seen that this regime, and I'm not going to come out here and say that I know better than Monty or I know better than this organization. I'm not going to come out here and say that, right? Because that's discrediting all these guys' hard work to get to the level that they've gotten to, right? But to me, in 2023, it was an absolute no-brainer that you had to get one of the two guys. You had to get Jalen Carter or you had to get Will Anderson Jr. You had to. And the Arizona Cardinals didn't decide to do that, right? They traded out, trade back up to still get their quote-unquote guy in Paris Johnson Jr., which is still a really good player, right? But is he a difference maker? Is he the guy that's going to be, known for being an Arizona Cardinal forever, right? Like a Will Anderson Jr. or Jalen Carter is, right? I don't know. Well, as of right now, we don't know, right? Year 2, I don't blame Monty Ossenfort for going the Marvin Harrison Jr. route at the 4th overall pick because honestly, when you're sitting that high, it almost kind of feels like the decision is made for you when you have so many draft analysts and you're looking at the tape and you're saying things to yourself, this is a can't miss prospect in Marvin Harrison Jr., and we went that direction. I wanted Marvin Harrison Jr. as well. Now, the rest of the picks after Marvin, there's a lot of those picks that we can go ahead and dissect, but I didn't blame him for that pick in 2025, right? Yeah, 2025 draft. Walter Nolan was not in my top 5 for players that I wanted the Arizona Cardinals to go after. Now, it's not his fault. Injuries happened, but I would have gone after James Pierce Jr., especially at the state of why can we ever get anybody opposite side of Josh Sweat? Like, why is it so hard for the Arizona Cardinals to get somebody opposing side of Josh Sweat? Why? Now, we went Walter Nolan. I still think he's going to be a good player. Is he a Pro Bowl caliber player? Well, I mean, or a Pro Bowl caliber player? Well, I mean, he's showing flashes, but can he stay healthy? That's the big question out there. Right now, my number one guy, or at least top guy, one of them was James Pierce Jr. Right now in his rookie year, ladies and gentlemen, James Pierce Jr., 14 solo tackles, 8.5 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. Can you imagine the production that we would have had if I was a general manager of the Arizona Cardinals? Now, I still would have got Marvin Harrison Jr. I still would have. So you probably could have crucified me there, but you're not going to bat 1,000, right? You're not going to bat 1,000. But these are players that I wanted the Arizona Cardinals to get that, to me, were guys that you needed to get to be bookends for the future. And unfortunately, Monty Ossenfort, with what he's done for the draft, and he's been getting a lot of credit for the drafts that he's been doing. And I've said this before, I do trust Monty Ossenfort in the draft process over Steve Keim. but I trust Steve Keim over Monty Ossenfort in the trading aspect and the free agency aspect. Now, it's a little too early to tell if 2024 players are going to work out in the NFL, or the 2025 players are going to work out, right? So it's still really early to find out if those draft prospects that Monty Ossenfort is bringing in is going to be big factors or focal points for the Cardinals moving forward. But why are we here? Why are the Arizona Cardinals looking as bad as we are in the later part of the season when we should still be fighting quote unquote hard, right? When we should still be fighting to stay in these games, right? Because you had Jacoby Brissett come out and saying that this all kind of comes down to just the techniques, right? The things that the Cardinals players can fix. This is not coaching, he said, right? Or I don't think he said it's not coaching, but he kind of blamed it more on execution, right? Why are the players not executing? Why aren't they tackling? Why aren't they doing all these little things that make them NFL pro football players and putting good things on tape? Why aren't they doing these things correctly, right? Because tackling was atrocious yesterday. Defense was not great. I mean, we had a couple sacks here and there, but like it wasn't a good performance. Defensively, they couldn't get off the field at all. In the first quarter, Joe Burrow did whatever the hell he wanted against the Arizona Cardinals. I kid you not. The Arizona Cardinals had the ball less than 1 minute and 30 seconds in the first quarter of that game. Yes, you heard that right. The Arizona Cardinals had the ball on the offensive side of the ball less than 1 minute and 30 seconds in the first quarter of that game. The Cincinnati Bengals, they did whatever they want against the Cardinals defense, and the defense couldn't stop them. There was multiple 3-and-7s, 3-and-9s where the Cardinals could have done something and get themselves out of it, but unfortunately they couldn't. Now, it also didn't help that the very first drive for the Cardinals offense, they went 3-and-outs. That didn't help, and that's why it only equated to 1 minute and I believe 29 seconds. We ended up possessing the ball in the first quarter. That just kind of proves and shows you that this Arizona Cardinal team and players, no matter what Jonathan Gannon says, they're not in it, man. They're absolutely not in it. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals were a 5-win team. Let's not sit here and act like the Arizona Cardinals or the Cincinnati Bengals were this big-time world beater, right? Like they're the best team, coming in, and the Cardinals have a very, very tough schedule. No, they weren't. They were a 5-win team. Now, granted, Joe Burrow was hurt a good majority of this year. He's come back and given them some more wins for the Cincinnati Bengals. Good for him. But they weren't a world beater. They were known as a very bad defense. They were known as a team that they can't seem to close out games. But guess what? When you put both these two teams next to each other, there's one clear consensus better team than the other team. And that's a Joe Burrow-led offense. And the defense, honestly, did a really good job against Jacoby Brissett. Let's call it like it is. Jacoby Brissett did not have a good game against the Cincinnati Bengals. This is probably one of his worst performances all year long. He finished off the game with 21 of 37, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, that last touchdown to McBride, garbage touchdown. Let's be real. It's a garbage touchdown, right? Joe Burrow, 24 of 31, 305 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Chase Brown, 22 carries, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, 7 receptions, 60 yards, 2 touchdowns. Michael Wilson, which, like I said, was the bright spot because he always is, him and Trey McBride, the bright spot, right? Michael Wilson finished off the game with the most yardage for the Cardinals, 5 receptions, 89 yards, and 1 touchdown. And here's the thing, the run game. Where the hell is the run game? We ran the ball 13 times. 13 times, ladies and gentlemen, and it equated to, 52 yards of, let me do a quick some math here, 30, 40, 42 yards. I'm sorry, 42 yards. Even worse. It equated to 42 yards. We ran the ball 13 times. 7 with Michael Carter, 5 with Amari DiMercato, as well as 1 with Corey Kiner. And it all equated to 42 yards. The run game has been nowhere. Where has been this run game has been absolutely pathetic. Pathetic. And it brings me to the question that we have here, right, that we're all talking about. I know, I hear the same reports, and I know there's a lot of people that when we were doing the live play-by-play yesterday, they were telling me that the broadcasters were saying up and down, that they were criticizing the Arizona Cardinals on this, they were criticizing them on that. But they all came down to the scenario that the Arizona Cardinals should still Give Jonathan Gannon another chance, right? I'm not sure if you guys heard that in the broadcast or you guys were listening to me doing the live play-by-play, but that's what these national guys were saying. They were criticizing the Cardinals up and down, but they stuck to their guns and said the Cardinals should give him another opportunity because of injuries. That doesn't make me feel good as an Arizona Cardinal fan. It doesn't at all. At all. For several different reasons. Broadcasters are privy to obviously have meetings and conversations with people that are higher in the Arizona Cardinals organization, right? So they probably know that Jonathan Gannon is probably going to be granted a fourth year, which is absolutely mind-boggling and bonkers at the same. It's insane. It makes absolute no sense that how bad this Arizona Cardinals organization has regressed. We're still going to be giving a year 4 to Jonathan Gannon because injuries, because of the idea that Kyler Murray isn't the guy or wasn't the guy that Monty Ossenford and Jonathan Gannon picked. That absolutely all is an excuse. In a nutshell, it's all an excuse, ladies and gentlemen. It is. It's an excuse. This whole situation that we're living in right now is an excuse. Injuries are an excuse. The Arizona Cardinals didn't have a run game before their injuries hit the fan, right? They still sucked before injuries hit the fan, right? Let's not forget that the Cardinals started off at what, 2-4? When did Kyler get benched? Was it 2-3? Kyler got benched at 2-3, right? So he had 5 games in, 2-3, or not benched. He got hurt. I'm sorry, he got hurt. So 2-3, right? So the Cardinals are still a bad team regardless of the injuries piling up on them. Let's not sit here and act like we didn't take advantage of that first part of the easy part of the schedule. Let's not act like that. And this defense played so much better in the beginning part of the season. Let's be real. We weren't giving up the astronomical numbers that we were giving up in this second part of the season. Now, is Jacoby Brissett deserve blame? Of course he does, 100%. He's not playing to the level that we thought he was going to be playing. But also on the other side of the coin, nobody ever said Jacoby Brissett was going to be the future of the Cardinals. All we said was he could be your bridge guy in order for you to go after somebody else to now start planning a world without K1. Right? That was the whole narrative out there. But people like to turn it. People like to say, oh, you wanted Jacoby Brissett out there because this offense looks better. Well, guess what? The numbers still look good. Now, they're not equating to wins, but it does prove that this offense can work. And it proves that Kyler Murray, unfortunately, was not able to run this offense as efficiently as Jacoby. But honestly, on the other side of the coin, this defense has mightily regressed. We shouldn't be leaning on Calais Campbell, 39, 38 years old, Calais Campbell pushing 40 to be your number one pressure guy. We shouldn't be doing that. And we do. And we are. Josh Sweat, for as much great, I give him, and honestly, I think he's been very, very good for the Cardinals in terms of the signing. He's kind of been MIA for this last several games. But also, on the other side of the coin, we just talked about this earlier in the stream. If we did what I wanted the Arizona Cardinals to do and get James Pierce Jr., guess what? James Pierce Jr. right now in his rookie year has 8.5 sacks. He's trending to potentially be another Will Anderson Jr. And I with my own eyes evaluated to say this guy is going to be really good. This is going to be a really good player. Cardinals go after him. And guess what? He's healthy. Guess what? He's able to play all these games. I love Walter Nolan. I wish nothing but the success for Walter Nolan. I really do. But why are we getting all these guys that are somehow getting injuries when they weren't ever injured in their college careers and now they're drinking the water in Arizona and they're injured every single year? Why? Right? Because to me, it's not just Jonathan Gannon. To me, it's Monty Ossenford as well. To me, it's everybody under Gannon. Now, of course, there's steps to get to the level that we need to get to. In the beginning of this year, I told myself that there's no way that Gannon's going to get fired. I like what he did in year 2. He fought very, very hard in year 1. But year 3 changes. And opinions and takes change as the weeks go along. Gannon shouldn't be the coach in year 4. He shouldn't. But is he? He probably will be because of Michael Bidwill. That's probably what it is. And the excuses that some portion of the fan base is accepting. Guess what? This organization will always feed you BS unless you allow it or unless you stop accepting it. That's just the way that it is. They will put a lipstick on a pig and say, okay, this is the problem. And you'll accept it because you don't want to be deemed as a non-fan. Sometimes it's okay to push back, ladies and gentlemen, and that's fine. The Arizona Cardinals right now are going to be pulling up 2 excuses. A, injuries were a big deal, and they were, let's be real, but let's not act like the Arizona Cardinals were this good, awesome world beater of a team before injuries. No, let's not sit here and act like that. Number two, they're also going to mention the fact that Kyler isn't the guy of Jonathan Gannon. Like, that's absolutely BS to me. You had 3 years to plan a world without K1. 3 years to plan a world without him. And all you kept telling the Arizona Cardinal fans was, he's our guy. 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 That's what you told us. And now all of a sudden you want to use the excuse that he's not our guy? Well, I found it pretty funny that every single year you got yourself a QB, whether it was through free agency, through a trade, or through draft, right? Year 2, you stopped that. Why? Right? Year 3, you stopped that. Why? Get yourself a quarterback. Live in a world where you potentially could get yourself the Dak Prescotts of the future. Potentially get yourself another late round quarterback that you can try to develop, right? Quinn Ewers is another guy that's gone drafted by the Miami Dolphins. And I'm not saying he's the future, but at least they give him a little hope that, hey, this kid can look solid as a potential backup quarterback. Honestly, at this point, Jacoby Brissett, if he's going to start next year, that's cool. But I want to see the rookie quarterback. That's what I'm looking to see. And I don't know if I trust this organization or this regime to pick their next guy, right? To pick the next guy that the Cardinals are going to have to use another 3 or 4 or 5 years to potentially develop this quote unquote guy. How do we trust that, right? How do we trust that? How do we trust the idea that this is going to happen? And I get it, right? Clayton Tune was terrible. 100%. Clayton Tune was terrible, right? And that's one thing on me, right? 2023, I wanted to hang on something that gives me some sort of hope. I hyped up Clayton Tune to the point that I want to see this guy play, but he didn't look good for the small sample size. Now, was he thrown into the fire? He was. Was he actually developed? He wasn't. He wasn't. Let's be real. The Cardinals traded for Josh Dobbs because they wanted to win. They didn't. They threw Clayton Tune in there with a very tough defense in the Cleveland Browns. He looked terrible. Historical numbers and how bad the offense looked, I'll give you that. But was he really given an opportunity to actually get thrown out there to actually develop? No, he wasn't. So he's still bad. I mean, it's kind of like the Josh Rosen situation. Should we have given him more time? I mean, it's opinions are opinions, right? But he was kind of thrown out there for nothing. But I would rather the Arizona Cardinals take some swings on some late round quarterbacks and potentially try to develop them, or maybe a third round quarterback, as opposed to the situation that we're in now. Because let's be real, Kyler Murray right now, it feels like he is most likely going to be in another uniform next year. Now, are we going to be, is our hands going to be forced to potentially consider bringing him back? Maybe, because what's the alternate solution here? The Cardinals right now are sitting with the 5th overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft right now. You have 2 quarterback needy teams right now. Vegas is a quarterback needy team. The Jets, a quarterback needy team. And as of right now, that seems to be the extent of where we are at right now, right? You got the Giants sitting up there with Jackson Dart. And then you also got Tennessee up there with Cam Ward. I don't think they're going to give up on Cam Ward this quick, if I'm going to be honest, but you never know. The NFL is a brutal business. But right now, what the Arizona Cardinals should be doing is they should be planning, how can we go ahead and unload Kyler to either Vegas or the Jets? That should be their number one destinations to potentially trade him off to. I think the Jets can be a very, very viable option to trade Kyler to, right? Especially because they got so many draft picks. And I don't know if Aaron Glenn, their current head coach in the Jets, has enough wiggle room to develop a quarterback. So why not take a swing and go after Kyler? Now, I'm not saying Kyler's going to give us a first-round pick. No, I'm not going to say that. But it also, that kind of alleviates for the Cardinals to maybe go after a quarterback if they really do like one, right? If Dante Moore comes out, that helps us out. If Ty Simpson comes out, that helps us out. But honestly, I don't know if either of the two are coming out. I think Fernando Mendoza right now seems to be the only one that I'm like 90% sure, 95% sure that he's going to come out in this draft. But we don't know at the end of the day. So this is kind of where we are at right now in the current state of the Arizona Cardinals, because it does feel like Kyler and the Arizona Cardinals are coming to a divorce. Let's be real. And I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh man, no. Honestly, one thing I will say about Gannon is the way that they handle the situation. If this was the direction that they were going to pull the plug so quickly, why not do it last year? Why not do it? Why not do it last year? Why does it take 3 years to know if you're the guy or not, right? Like, why? A lot of question marks, a lot of things that I really want some serious answers. None of this BS. like media talk. I want some serious answers as to like why do you think it really took 3 years? Like if you were gonna pull the plug, and like I said, opinions are opinions. If you think Kyler was hurt all year, that's your opinion. My opinion is he did get hurt, but at the end of the day, they chose Jacoby over him. That's how I feel, and that's my opinion on the situation. We can differ. That's okay. But why did it take this long to plan a world without Kyler? Why? Why does it always take this organization until the problem is right there in your front door? Why does it always take them this long? I don't get it. I don't understand it. It might be a Michael Bidwill problem. That probably is what it is. So, regardless of who it is, right, in the situation that we're in, either Monty or Keim or Cliff or Gannon, it's probably all going to come down to the same consensus because who's the guy owning it? Yeah, it's Michael Bidwill at the end of the day. So, I get it for the people out there that want to keep Gannon because they don't think there's anything better. I mean, I hate that mentality in general. I really do. I hate the mentality. I don't think anybody has any faith in a year 4 of Gannon, right? The only thing that will get people turned back around is if they do this crazy monster move, right? This crazy blockbuster thing, either trading up in the draft or maybe going after a said Joe Burrow, right? But like if you bring in a Mac Jones, nobody's going to care too much about that. Like seriously, Mac Jones, if you're bringing a Malik Willis, I mean that's cool, but like seriously, that's your plan. That's your saving grace, your last hurrah. Like that's what you're gonna do, right? But like you look at what Monty's done. Monty's not really a big flashy guy. He doesn't do those things. So like that's another aspect of it all as in terms of like it's not just Gannon for me. I said this earlier. It's Monty, it's Gannon, it's all the little minions under Gannon, right? It's this whole regime that I just don't feel the confidence that he's going to be able to get it right. Regardless if it's a year 4. It doesn't make sense to me that people want Gannon to get his guy. He is a defensive head coach. A defensive head coach. It just doesn't make sense to me. Oh, let him get his guy. What is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? He's gonna develop as a defensive minded head coach. He's gonna develop somebody like serious. He's gonna. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. And on top of that, you have Drew Petzing, which let's be real, this whole fan base pretty much hates at this point. Let's call it like it is. Everybody in this fan base hates. So what? You're going to scapegoat your coordinators. You're going to say Petzing is going to be gone. Maybe you bring back Rallis, or maybe you decide to get rid of him as well. Like that's supposed to give us appease, like to oh, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. They got rid of their coordinators, which it could help. I guess it can help. But like, who are you going to bring in? Who are you going to bring in? There's no coordinator out there right now in my mind that will want to take this position in the current spot that they're in right now. Who would want to leave their current job as a coordinator to come here? Who? Who? I mean, unless Shane Steichen does get fired with the Colts and he brings them in, that would be pretty exciting. That would be pretty interesting, right? I think I can get behind that if they did something like that. I'm cool with that. Bringing in an offensive mind coordinator, bringing in Shane Steichen, that would be awesome. But it takes a firing to happen with the Colts for that to happen. I need to see what crop of head coaches are going to be fired. That's what I need to see. I need to see if Tomlin gets fired. I need to see if John Harbaugh gets fired. I need to see if, honestly, I still do think that Brian Flores can be a really good head coach. I don't think because of obviously off the field and outside football stuff that's happening with Flores and the Cardinals organization. I just don't think he'll want to be a head coach, but I still think he could be a really good head coach. And on top of that, Robert Saleh. I really do like Robert Saleh. I really do like Robert Saleh a lot. And then again, does he come to the Cardinals? Probably not. I mean, he already tried a crappy organization with the Jets. Why would he try it here? Well, I mean, I guess the money could be an aspect of it all. But there's also the coordinators for the Rams as well. The Rams have a really good coordinating staff right now. Mike LaFleur, the defensive coordinator for the Rams, that's pretty interesting, right? Chris Shula, a defensive coordinator over there with the Rams as well. Another potential interest there. So there's people out there, right? And I made a video about potential, coaching shakeup about a month ago because I've been done with Gannon for a long time. Like I said, I don't know if he's gonna get it, but I think right now most people that are saying he should come back is because they just kind of they gave up hope that Michael Bidwill was going to be able to do anything of value, right? So it is what it is. It is what it is at this point. Let's take a couple comments here on the chat because honestly, like I said, it's not just Gannon that I have my eyes on. It's also Monty. It's also Monty that I have my eyes on as well. Can't control life in the chat says, what's the plan with the first pick? Well, we got to figure out where we're at, right? We got to figure out where we are going to be picking right now in week 17. And I don't think this last game really has any value in terms of like where we're seated. This is where we're seated after week 17. After week 18, well, we got to see what happens with Vegas versus the Chiefs, right? Go Vegas. Sorry, go Vegas. Hopefully they win something. But even then, that doesn't really help out the chances to be the number one overall pick. But that does help out the Arizona Cardinals for them not to be the number one overall pick. So that helps, right? So Chiefs versus Vegas. You got the Giants versus the Cowboys. Go Giants. You got the New York Jets versus the Bills. Go Jets, which I don't think that's even attainable, but whatever. And then you got the Tennessee Titans versus the Jags. Go Tennessee, right? All we can hope right now, because of strength of schedule, is the fact that all these four teams that are in front of us actually win a darn game. We're not going to beat the Rams. We're not going to beat the Rams, ladies and gentlemen. We are not going to beat the Rams. Even if they sit their starters with Jimmy Garoppolo, I believe they're still going to mop the floor with the Arizona Cardinals, and it's not even going to be close. This team is so much leaps and bounds better, and it's proven in this last week when you had a 5-win team with Joe Burrow and that defense that wasn't good. It proved that this Cardinals offense and this Cardinals team is not good. There's so many problems internally with the depth, with the injuries, with the coaching, with the out coaching and everything. It's just a bad situation to be in. So the only thing we can do is have all these four teams in front of us win, or at least one of them win, to help us move over in the next spot. So right now we're sitting with the 5th overall pick. Can the Cardinals go offensive line? They can. They can go after Spencer Fanu if they want to. That's a realistic spot. Or they can decide to trade up and potentially get themselves a quarterback of the future. But here's the thing, right? We're told that Monty and Gannon want to get their guy. We need to get their guy, they say, right? If you're going to come out here and give me Spencer Fanu at 5, you better do something crazy, coming back, trading up in the first round again, or you better draft a quarterback in the second round or the third round or something. You need to do something that's going to say, okay, this is why you kept your job, because you had a plan in place to get us back into contention, right? That's the only kind of real saving grace that I feel like. But if you get Spencer Fanu and then you wait for your pick and then nothing really comes of it, it's another failure. It's another what this organization has been doing. Gambling and not really getting the payoffs, unfortunately. Because let's be real, we made a video about this earlier. Max Melton, which to me, when we drafted Max Melton, it felt like a confusing pick. And I was like, okay, I guess I can get behind it. He's the most physical cornerback. All right, that sounds cool. But you had players that I liked as well in the second round. Monty Ossenfort decided to trade back. Cooper DeJean, Cooley McKinstry, Kamari Lassiter, right? These type of guys that are really good, impactful players and are healthy for their respected team. Max Melton, unfortunately, and I'm not saying he's a bust, but he's not to the level of these guys yet. He's not. Let's be real. When he's on the field and there's a big explosive play, usually on the opposing side is Max Melton. Unfortunately, I'm not coming out here and say he's Marco Wilson status. No, he's not bad like that, but there might have been a better solution. There might have been a better solution there for the Arizona Cardinals in the second round last year. And that's not even to mention the 4 third-round picks in 2024 was absolutely terrible. 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 So it's so tough to say right now who the Cardinals are going to pick or where they're going to go. They can go anywhere. That's the problem. This roster that was constructed with lack of depth, they can go anywhere. They want to go after a wide receiver, they can do that. They want to go after an edge rusher, they can do that. Then they want to go after an interior defensive lineman because most likely Calais Campbell's going to leave, right? They can do that. Cornerback, they can do that. Quarterback, they can do that. Running back, they can do that. You could throw a freaking dart in any position and the Cardinals can do that. And that should be proof that this roster that was constructed, it might not have been the right approach. And that's where I get my eyes on Monty, right? That's where I get my eyes straight on Monty Ossenfort and said, I'm not sure if you're going to be the guy. I'm not sure if you're going to be the guy. Now, is he going to get fired? If he's going to get fired? He probably won't. General managers usually don't get fired like hot tamales or like coaches do. They usually don't. So I don't think he's going to get fired. If he does, woo, bravo to Michael Bidwill for doing that. But like I said earlier, I'm giving him way too much credit. Hell, we don't even know if Gannon is going to come back. There's people out there that believe he's going to come back and be able to pick his guy, and injuries were a big part as to why the Cardinals are here. It's outlandish to me, man. Every single time, every single year, it's something different. Every single year, it's something different. I don't get it. I don't get it, and I don't think I ever will. Or I guess I do get it. It's Michael Bidwill at the end of the day. His decision-making is absolutely horrendous. Let me give some love real quick to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube, the guys that are keeping the lights on. That's going to be none other than Sleeper. Let me give a real quick shout-out to them, and then we'll continue the conversation as we go. And we're going to go ahead and focus on the chat. And we got another topic to talk about as well, and that's Marvin Harrison Jr., man. Whew. Marvin Harrison Jr., we're going to talk about him as well pretty soon. So let me give some love real quick to the sponsors. That's going to be none other than Sleeper. The NFL season is here, which means you now have a chance to 100 times your cash on daily fantasy football. Pick on stats for stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, and fantasy points, and more for up to 100 times the payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right, and you can win big. Use promo code AZSF, and you can get up to a $100 deposit match on your first initial deposit. Terms and conditions do apply. Everything will be in the description below of the video. And on top of that, you will also be getting a free $20 entry just like that by using promo code AZSF upon signing up for the app. No deposit needed. Make sure you check out Sleeper, proud sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan throughout the entirety of the 2025 season. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep the conversation going. I want to move on over to this real quick. Is Marvin Harrison Jr. a bust? This is going to be a topic that we're going to be talking very much so throughout the entirety of the offseason, because although Marvin Harrison Jr. has been dealing with a lot of injuries, there are some things out there that people are not liking what they're seeing from his development, right? And that's another aspect of it all as well that people don't really talk about very much. If we're still seeing Marvin Harrison Jr. do the things that he's doing that makes us really upset, like catching with his body, jumping up for no reason, right? Doing all these little things, not being as physical as we need him to be, we're bringing in a coaching staff that is okay with 2 years of that same type of development, right? So like that's another aspect that people aren't talking about. We're really putting our faith in the hands of a coaching staff that drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. 4th overall in the 2024 NFL draft, and we're saying it's okay because they're going to develop. I don't have faith that they're going to be able to develop this young guy. I really don't, right? Now, if you're the 4th overall pick, should you be able to, or should you develop? Well, I mean, that's a good argument as well. If you're the 4th overall pick, we do expect you to be a guy that's polished from the get, right? We do. So I get that argument as well. That side of the coin, I get that. But, I mean, where the hell is the coaching staff coming in here and saying, hey, stop jumping. Stop jumping. Why are you jumping all the time? If you don't need to, catch with your hands. Be more physical. You put all this body weight on. You put all this muscle on. Where's that muscle? Right? In the first couple weeks, it was good. But now it's kind of starting to rear its ugly head. Now, it also doesn't help that his injury that he's sustained, the heel injury, is really nagging at him. Let's be real. When you're seeing him on the field in these last games, whether you're watching this through an actual lens of, hey, I want him to succeed, or you hate the pick at the 4th overall and you think he's a bust, whatever lens you're looking at, let's be real. He's not playing fully 100%. He's not. So why this coaching staff decided to throw him out there when obviously he's not fully healthy, because he was questionable to return in this game as well. And he's not really running crisp, great routes because of a heel injury. Guess what? When you're running, you have to use your foot, which is, the heel is on your foot, right? So I think it's best for the Cardinals just to shut him down. I'm not going to come out here and call him a bust, but is there things that I need Marvin Harrison Jr. to get better at? 100%. Oh, 100%. You're the fourth overall pick. The expectations should be up the yin yang for you. Now, I gave him a little grace in his rookie year because it's his rookie year, and I'm still giving him a little bit of grace. I'm not calling him a bust, but I do believe that panic mode is getting a little closer to push. It's getting a little closer to push. Now, injuries suck, right? BTJ was not as good as we thought he was going to be either. His sophomore year, and BTJ is Brian Thomas Jr., player for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's not as great as we thought he was going to be either, right? He's got 45 catches, 658 yards, 2 touchdowns. Malik Neighbors got hurt in the beginning of this year, right? So his production hasn't really been there. Marvin, 608 yards by missing games and 4 touchdowns. So a lot of these wide receivers that were really, really good in their rookie year, including Marvin, I would say his rookie year was good. I wouldn't say it's great, but I think it was good. Even McConkey, from what he did in his rookie year, he's regressed too. McConkey has regressed. McConkey in his rookie year was 1,149 yards, 7 touchdowns. This year, 789 yards. They got 1 game left, six touchdowns, and he's played every single game. He's been able to stay healthy. So he's regressed as well too. So yes, Marvin, did he regress? Did he not? Is he not the guy that we thought he was going to be? Yeah, he's not. He's not. But all we have right now is a hope and a prayer that he's going to be able to develop to be that guy. That's what we have, a hope and a prayer that he's going to be able to develop to be that guy. That's the only thing that we have right now. So I'm not going to come out here and call him a bust, but definitely a level of concern that I really thought we were going to get a lot more from him. Dante Benjamin in the chat says Mazda Marv catch percentage 56%. And all these are very valid. Very, 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 very valid criticism. Mazda Marv, love that. Maserati Marv is what he's known for in Ohio State. He's not been able to bring that same level of intensity when he was playing with those college guys as opposed to grown men. I will definitely give you that, 110%. So I'm not going to call him a bust yet, but I get it. I understand it. So big question, right? But like I said earlier, for the original question that people were asking, where are the Cardinals going to go? They can go anywhere. In the first round, they can go anywhere. They can throw a dart in a board with all the positions, and they can hit on a position that they need. That's how badly this team was constructed. Draft picks are very important. And guess what? 2024 was a very, very bad class. Or at least there hasn't been any Pro Bowlers, right? And that's another thing to mention. Monty Ossenfort has not drafted a damn Pro Bowler. Monty Ossenfort has not drafted a Pro Bowler since he's been here. Monty Ossenfort has not drafted a Pro Bowler and had 4 third-round picks. 4 third-round picks. And he couldn't do anything with those. And that's not to mention, we traded back to get Max Melton, missing out on a Kamari Lassiter, missing out on a Cooper DeJean, and missing out on a Kool-Aid McKinstry. So, for what it's worth, there's that. So, yeah, I mean, Cardinals can go any which direction. Any which direction right now. And it is at the point right now that I just need to fast forward to Black Monday and see what happens. I want to see what coaches are available. I want to see that Michael Bidwill has a plan B. Like, let's say, for example, that Michael Bidwill did tell JG, hey, you're going to have a guaranteed year 4 because we're going to move off of Kyler, right? Let's just say we live in that world where it's already been established that you're going to get a year 4 because you're going to be moving off of Kyler by year 3. If he's not working by year 3, then okay, we're going to move off, right? But there needs to be a plan B. If there's a John Harbaugh, if there is a Mike Tomlin, if there's something that happens out there in the world of the NFL with any of these guys become available, you fire Gannon on the spot. On the spot. You fire him on the spot for a potential chance of getting any of those guys. I still don't think Gannon should be here. I still don't think Gannon should be here. There's no hope for any Cardinal fans. The Cardinal fan base right now is they're canceling their season tickets in droves. And I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but there is Cardinal fans out there that are season ticket holders that have been season ticket holders for 15, 20 plus years. And guess what? I got DMs from X. I got DMs from Instagram of people saying, hey, I've been a Cardinal fan for 12 plus years. This is the first time in a very long time I decided to maybe this might not be suitable for my mental health and maybe decided to actually move on to a different team. I get it. I understand it. I get it. This is the first time in a very long time. And if Michael Bidwill isn't cognizant to that or he's not aware of that, I don't know what to say. I really don't. No, they shouldn't. No. I would rather have a football team here than not have a football team here. That's personal preference, right? That's personal preference. If you think they should relocate, all right. That's personal. I would rather have a football team than not. And here's the crazy thing. We're living in Phoenix, Arizona, one of the fastest growing cities in the entire United States. In the entire United States. If there was any other owner, you would look at that and try to take advantage of the situation. You know how many people are coming here, right? From other parts of the world, other parts of the United States that are coming here to Phoenix, Arizona because of the weather, because our winters are magnificent. We are one of the fastest growing cities, and you have a guy in Michael Bidwill that can't take advantage of the situation. Because let's be real, if a lot of Packers fans, Bears fans, 49ers fans, all these fans coming from every which direction, right? Every part of the United States coming here. If the Cardinals were better, there might be a switch in fandom. Because guess what? It's more convenient to watch them on the TV as opposed to buying Sunday ticket, right? Or buying something to watch their guys in New England, Patriots, or anything like that. Now, of course, you have a diehard like me, right? I'm one of those guys that if they're in Arizona, I'm going to continuously follow them. But if they leave Arizona, deuces. That's what it is with it. I watch you, and you're my team because you're in Arizona. You want to move back somewhere else? Goodbye. Good riddance. Deuces. But that's why I follow you. I follow you because you're here. But there would be that portion of those other fans that are transplants. They probably will jump on the quote-unquote bandwagon if the Cardinals were good. Problem is the Cardinals are never good. They're never good. They're good for 1 or 2 years, and they rebuild for 3 or 4 years. And it's terrible. The decisions that are being made, and you can actually get your organization fixed in a year. This is one of the very few sports that you can do that. This is one of the very few sports that you can do that. That you can become the worst to first in 1 year. You can. Jaguars, they were third in their division. Now, yes, they weren't the worst, but they were third in their division with 4 wins, 13 losses. Let's not forget that who they ended up getting in the draft. They got after Travis Hunter. He got hurt. Travis Hunter got hurt. So they're not even using their first round pick, right? Their high first round pick. They went from 4-13 to now 12-4. In 1 year, 4-13 to 12-4. Got a new head coach, got a new general manager. They look good. Now, is that sustainable? We'll see. The Bears, 4th in their division. They were 5-12 with the rookie quarterback in Caleb Williams. Now they are at 11-5. They just lost to the 49ers yesterday, but they look really good. Caleb Williams with Ben Johnson looks to be that next good duo with the quarterback and head coach. They look really good with each other. They really do. The Panthers, 3rd in their division. They went from 5-12 to now, 8-8 now? Which, not crazy moving numbers, but I would rather be 8-8. Hell yeah, I would rather be 8-8 than this crazy debacle that we're seeing right now. This is horrible. This is a horrible season. So Panthers, 3rd in their division, and they have a chance to fight for the division in the end of the in week 18. Good for them. Pats, 4th in their division. 4-13 to now, what, 13-3? Crazy. Crazy. You can become the worst to first in 1 year if you get the right coach, if you get the right general manager. You can. And I don't want to hear anything different. You can. Everyone, yes, agree. Everyone can get a quick yes, because it depends on who you bring in. What's their mindset? When Bruce Arians was brought in here, his mindset wasn't, oh, I'm going to rebuild. He wants to win. It's just a straight up win from the get. When Bruce Arians took over for the Arizona Cardinals, let me look it up here. I know he was a winning record. Let's take a look here. And I do see a super chat. there. I'm going to get to that super chat, I promise. So when Arians took over from Whisenhunt, right? Whisenhunt, when he was actually hired as the head coach for the Cardinals, he went 8-8, right? And that was coming off of Green, right? Dennis Green, 5-11 back-to-back years. They got Whisenhunt. Whisenhunt went 8-8, then 9-7, 10-6. Then he had a down year at 5-11, then went back to 8-8, and then he went back down to a bit down year at 5-11. When Arians took over from a 5-11 team, Arians took this team to a double-digit winning team 3 straight years, 10-6, 11-5, and 13-3. Now, Arians, in the last 2 years, he was 7-8-1, and then 8-8. And then the Cardinals decided to say to him, hey, fire your coordinators. And then Arians said, nah, I'm not doing that. And he decided to quote-unquote retire, right? Tried broadcasting, didn't do really well in it, and he coached for another year and won a Super Bowl with Brady. Then Wilkes came in. Wilkes came in after an 8-8 team, 3-13. Got fired on the spot. Cliff Kingsbury came in, 5-10, 8-8, 11-6, 4-13. Gannon came in, 4-13. Gannon came in 4-13, and on top of that, 8-9, and then 3-13, trending to be 3-14. But it's okay, right? It's okay. Give Gannon 1 more year. If you get the right head coach and the right general manager, you can turn an organization around like this. But it's the will and the want to do that, and the right decision making to do that. And that's what people don't understand. They're so used to getting beat down by this organization, they always want to tell me, trust the process. Every single time I'm told, trust the process. I don't know if I can trust the process with another year of Gannon, right? I don't know if I can trust the process with another year of Monty. I really don't. I don't think this organization, unfortunately, knows how to win. I don't think they do. Gannon should not be the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals in 2026. He shouldn't be. But will he be? Probably. Because of Michael. Mr. B. Mr. B. We got a super chat coming our way. We got, is it Kike? Is that what it is? Kike97? What's up, Kike? Thank you so much for the super chat. $5 donation coming our way. He says this: do you believe the curse of the Arizona Cardinals stem from disputing the 1925 NFL championship? I mean, we're always going to have the Arizona sports are cursed. I truly don't believe in curses. I really don't. Like, I think it's just all something to talk about, right? And if you want to go down that rabbit hole, you can. If you want to. I truly don't believe curses happen. I really don't. I truly believe that this is a circumstance of decision making that is happening from the guys at the top, right? We brought in an inexperienced head coach. He brought in an inexperienced coaching staff at DC, at OC, a very inexperienced general manager. And we told him, it's okay, learn on the job. Let's not forget Sean Payton was in the building. I'm assuming, I don't know, but if I were to put my best educated guess on there, I would probably say that Jonathan Gannon took this job because he was He told Bidwill that he could work with Kyler. Or if there was an out, it would at least have to take 3 years. And Sean Payton was not about that. Sean Payton said, no, I want him out now. And Michael Bidwill said, I don't got the funds. I just got my jet on layaway. I got 2 jets on layaway right now. I don't got the funds to get rid of Kyler. And Sean Payton said no. And on top of that, we weren't able to give him the amount of money that Wally World was with the Denver Broncos. So it was an easy decision for Sean Payton to go on over to the Broncos. It was an easy decision, right? Money, and he got the autonomy to get rid of Russell just like that. I truly believe it all came down to that in terms of why Sean Payton is not the head coach here. But that's what it is. You can't hang with the guys that are able to throw the money around. Bidwill is not the richest owner out there. So you need to depend on the decisions that are from the guys at the top. And guess what? I can give you a list of receipts of all the decisions these guys have made, and they have not been the right decisions. At least in the small sample size, they have not been the right decisions. Gannon does not deserve to be the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals in 2026. He doesn't. I think he's a fantastic human being. I like his personality. I think the whole pew, pew, pew at one point was kind of funny, right? I thought the fire in the gut, right? It was kind of funny. Did you take the bus was kind of funny. But at some point right now, it's not funny anymore. It's embarrassing. It's pathetic. You're fourth in the division and no end in sight that you're ever going to be able to be a head coach that's better than McVay. You're never going to be better than Kyle Shanahan. And you're never going to be better than Mike Macdonald. And if we know that now, what are we doing? If we know that now, well, then what the hell are we doing? And this isn't about so right, we're getting this, and I don't know where this is coming from, right? This is one of the main reasons why I never said this is fully on Kyler's fault. Never, ever once said it, that this is all Kyler's fault. But there's going to be people out there that are telling you, oh, yeah, he thinks. No, never once did I ever say it's all Kyler. But I did put some blame on Kyler, 100%. But as a quarterback that's getting paid the way that he's getting paid, I, as a fan, expect you to be a guy that's winning divisions. I expect you the guy that's winning playoff games, that's getting us to the playoff games. That's what I expect from a guy like that. So no, you're right. This isn't all Kyler's fault, but let's not act like he was part of the problem. Would you be winning with Kyler? Well, you probably would have 5, 6, 7 wins right now. Is that good enough? No. You're still going to be the run of the joke, the run of the division. Still, what are we paying you for? What are we paying you for? So no, you're right. Kyler wasn't all the problem, but I never ever once said he was. But he was part of the problem. And let's not forget that Kyler Murray put the stamp of approval on this change. He liked that he wasn't able to play Superman, or he didn't have to play Superman. He liked that he didn't have to do everything on his own power. That's why the Cardinals shifted to this run. They wanted to save Kyler Murray from another big injury. They wanted to save Kyler to not get hurt again. That's what they did. They went to a run-heavy offense. They brought in Rumpelstiltskin. I'm just kidding. They brought in Drew Petzing because the run-heavy offense is what they were trying to shift to. They did not want Kyler Murray to use his legs and play Superman all the time. That's what he did. He put a stamp of approval and he said, I like it. I like it. It's cool. But guess what? He wasn't executing it. He wasn't executing it to the level that we needed him to. He wasn't. Let's not forget we crashed and burned after being 6-4 before the bye week, and we crashed and burned. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that, ladies and gentlemen, but we want to forget, right? We want to forget. We want to play amnesia because recency bias, and we want to say, oh, this is Jacoby Brissett's fault. This defense is terrible. This coaching staff is terrible. Everything about this team compared to the beginning of the year is terrible. Is god-awful. They don't know how to tackle. They don't know how to do nothing. Jonathan Gannon constantly gets beat, worked in and he gets outcoached week in and week out. What don't we get about that? What is it not clicking here? That yes, you're right. You're right. It's not all Kyler's fault, but nobody ever said, or at least I never said that. But if Mr. Irrelevant in Brock Purdy is doing what Brock Purdy is doing right now, nobody would be talking about Kyler Murray. I promise you. Nobody would talk about Kyler Murray. If he's taken us to the Super Bowl, if he's won big time division games, if he's won a playoff game here and there, nobody would be talking about Kyler Murray. But guess what? It's 7 years of nothing. Nothing. So that's my argument for everything. I don't understand the pushback that everybody's coming out here and saying, we're 0-7 with Jacoby. Well, no, duh. Jacoby Brissett was never the answer. Nobody ever said that he was, right? What we were excited about as a Cardinal fan base is that this offense is actually starting to look competent. That's what we were excited about because this offense with Kyler Murray in the beginning of the year, they weren't looking like they were in sync in year 3. Guess what? Jacoby Brissett came in. He was tossing the ball to Trey. He was tossing the ball to Marv. And guess what? We now got history in the making with Trey McBride. Trey McBride has now been made history. In 16 games, he's made history. Mark Dalton here with the tweet saying this, a true bright spot in a tough Cardinals season. Cardinals, Trey McBride had 10 catches today at Cincinnati and now has 119 in 2025. He's not only broke the team record for the receptions in a season, DeAndre Hopkins at 115 in 2020, but also the NFL marks for catches by a tight end, Zach Ertz at 116 with Philly in 2018. He's crushing records with who we have right now. Would we have gotten that with K1? I don't know. But we're never going to know. We're never going to know. But why is Trey McBride on the map now? Why is he on the map? Because he's breaking records. That's why. Because of that. Now, if the Cardinals hired somebody different than Jonathan Gannon, would the situation been different? Yeah, it probably would have been. It probably would have been. I'll give you that. It probably would have been. But at one point, when do we stop making the excuses? When? Year 10? Year 8? Year 9? Right? If Gannon wasn't the successor or the next guy over Cliff, right? Let's say if it was somebody else, right? And it was a completely different scheme. Does that take into effect in terms of what the Cardinals decided to do? But like I said before, the plans seem to be let's not have Kyler play Superman. They wanted to go on a more traditional offense, 12 heavy personnel, right? More tight ends, more guys to block to get the run game going so Kyler doesn't have to do that, right? They decided to do it. Kyler gave the stamp of approval. It's fine. I love it. It's great. Don't need to play Superman. It's cool. It could have been different if we got another head coach. I'll give you that. But when do we stop? When's enough enough? When's enough enough? To me, I can't sit here and say, fire this guy, fire this guy, fire this guy. You are the end all be all. I'm not going to be like that because to me, it's not about one person. It's not about a player to me. It's about a team. What I root for is this. I root for the Cardinals organization. I don't root for players. Of course, I buy jerseys because I'm excited and I want to rock out the merch of the Arizona Cardinals, of course. But at the end of the day, this is what I care for, the Cardinals organization. I wish somebody else owned it, of course. But I can't sit here and say that I'm okay with firing another head coach and allowing somebody else to get the slip up. This is what it is. That's the way that my mindset works. You can disagree, and that's completely fine. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Kiki in the chat says, F Michael Bidwill. I don't understand how he gets inducted. When you have that much money, when you have power, when you have power and money, you can pay somebody to make you a little trophy. You can pay somebody to make you a little trinket. You know what I mean? You got that money, you can pay people to do whatever the hell you want. You want a banner, you want a plaque, you want to do something, you want something like that, you can pay somebody to do that for you. Guess what? It's a piece of metal. It's a piece of paper. It's all it is. It's a metal around your neck. It's all it is. It's a banquet that you set up for yourself to celebrate yourself because you think you're doing well with the business side of being a football operations. That's all it is. It's rich people, SHIT. That's all it is. It's rich people, SHIT. That's all it is at the end of the day. How can we do something with the money that we have to make ourselves feel better about ourselves? That's all it is, man. I mean, this is what it is. The Football Hall of Fame, guess what? One day that won't mean nothing. Guess what? One day it won't mean nothing. So what it is. Mega Man in the chat says, we need a healthy quarterback. Wills has a weak shoulder, and with our O-line, that would be a quicker injury. Willis? Are you saying like Will Hernandez? Oh, this is probably what it is. Okay, this is what you're saying. Okay. So how about going after Malik Willis? Honestly, I made a short about it. I made a video about Malik Willis. I'm not mad at the idea about it, but like let's not get it twisted, right? There's a portion of Cardinal fans that will see Malik Willis come in and they will fall in love with the idea that Malik Willis is going to be the next guy, right? And then we waste another 2 or 3 years of our lives, right? If you want to plan for 2027 to get yourself a quarterback because you can't get anybody with where we are sitting in right now, right? Well, you got a couple options. Make a big trade, bring in somebody that hasn't worked out like a Carson Palmer, right? Something like that we can try to revive his career. Malik Willis, but he's not the future. He's not the guy that's going to be your forever guy, right? So if you bring him in, understand it's going to be a 1-year deal, maybe a 2-year deal with the second year being voided out somewhere, right? Front load him so he's happy, play here 1 year, and then we start thinking about the future. That's really the only way I see a Malik Willis coming in here and me getting excited about, okay, let's see what he can do. But he's not your future, right? So if you're thinking about 1 year and then 2027 we get our guy in the draft, okay, I guess. I mean, it sucks for 2026 because there's another throwaway year. But then, again, on the other side of the coin, then why are we giving Jonathan Gannon 1 more year? Like, why? Like, the timeline just doesn't make sense to me. It's probably to save money, to be real with you, right? Michael Bidwill's trying to save money. He's trying to save money at the end of the day. That's what this all comes down to. He's trying to save money. But guess what? There's a lot of Cardinal fans right now that are canceling their season tickets in droves. Droves. And if he's not paying attention to that, this small already fan base that he has is going to become much smaller. Adrian in the chat says Malik Willis had a decent game. Now y'all want him just in a losing. That's what I'm saying, right? My expectations of Malik Willis, if he comes in here, cool. Like I said, it is what it is, but he ain't the future. He ain't. Tomlinson and Aaron Rodgers for 2026. Like I said, there better be a plan B. There better be a plan B. There better be a plan B. Because if Tomlin becomes available, if John Harbaugh becomes available, if Todd Bowles becomes available, if anything of these like this happens, the Cardinals need to say, sorry, Gannon, I'm sorry, deuces. I'm going this direction. They better have a plan B, and if they don't, oof, yikes. Yikes. He would be saved more money if he would stop bringing in. But yeah, 100%. And that's the thing that's confusing to me. Honestly, that's the he worries so much about saving a penny that literally, if you give us 5 straight losing seasons, you know how bad a franchise or a fan base will turn on you and will stop even thinking you're relevant. You know how bad that will be for a franchise if you have 5 straight losing seasons? Because right now we're on pace for 4. Actually, not on pace. We are on track for 4 losing seasons straight. 4 losing seasons straight. He worries so much about losing a penny or saving a penny that he's going to lose this fan base. And I know there's a lot of Cardinal fans that said already that they're canceling their season tickets in droves. They do not want to see this product with this current coaching staff at all. And I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Dante Benjamin in the chat says Todd Bowles as a DC or a head coach. Head coach? Head coach. Unless you have a good relationship with somebody, like maybe Gannon has with Steichen, right? Shane Steichen from the Colts. If Shane Steichen gets fired and Gannon gets another opportunity here, maybe you bring him as the offensive coordinator. You have to have a relationship. I don't know if paths were crossed. If Bowles comes here, I don't think it's going to be for a DC job. I don't think it will be. I really don't think it will be for a DC job. It will have to be for a head coaching job. So I would say as a head coach, but that's just me, right? So for the people out there that are saying, oh, there's nobody out there, there's people that are going to become available. There will be. There will be. Puka would be a bust if he was in Arizona with this coaching staff. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. There's something to be said about the evaluation process that's happening with this coaching staff. 100%. 100%. There's something to be said about the evaluation process that's happening. I don't think they truly know how to evaluate. I do not think they truly know how to evaluate. And all the people that they get, unfortunately, they haven't really worked out. You need a difference maker at head coach. The Kyle Shanahans, the Sean McVays, the Mike McDonalds of the world, the Mike Tomlins of the world, the Andy Reids of the world, the John Harbaughs, the Jim Harbaughs of the world. That's who you need. And the Cardinals have pew pew pew, right? Pew pew pew, shots fired. That's who we got. And we're gonna give them a year 4. At least what our people are saying right now. Year 4 coming our way. Watch out. Insane. Insane to me. I don't get it, and I don't think I ever will. Let's go with Motorsports. What's up, man? He says, honestly, I know I'm comparing apples to oranges, but the Bidwill family is basically the NFL equivalent of John Fisher from the Oakland Athletics and now Las Vegas Athletics. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. No, you're not. I think you're right. I think you're right. I think you're right. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. Mike LaFleur. But here's the thing. A lot of people don't know Mike LaFleur, right? A lot of people don't they don't know Mike LaFleur, right? Me and you, Javi, we know Mike LaFleur, right? Comes from the Sean McVay tree. You want to get Mike LaFleur? You want to go after maybe a Chris Shula, defensive coordinator of the Rams? You go after winning organizations. That's what you should do. The truth in the chat. What's up, man? Coaching doesn't look like the problem to me. It looks like a talent disparity. Well, the injuries. Yeah, but have you watched full Cardinal games, or did you? Actually, quick question, actually, because I know you're not a Cardinal fan. Have you watched a lot of Cardinal games, or just quick question? Because the Cardinals, yes, they don't have the talent right now, but this was a problem before we got here, right? Run game wasn't a thing in the first couple of weeks when we had James Conner. Unfortunately, he got hurt. But no, this is more than just injuries. This is also coaching. This is also time management and coaching. This is also we give up points before the half coaching, right? Not knowing how to be situational play caller coaching, right? That's what this comes down to. No, but don't crucify my guy because my guy, the truth, he's not a Cardinal fan. So, okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Perfect. Okay. So it, it does go, it's more than just that. I'll tell you, it is more than just that. The one game where the Cardinals lost in Thursday Night Football, that was a good game. That was a good game per the scoreboard, right? In terms of how it all resulted to. But watching that game, there was a clear-cut difference in that early part of the season that you were a far better team, and the scoreboard doesn't actually reflect what it should have been. There was a couple things that were taken away from you guys, a touchdown that was taken away from you guys that maybe might have looked this game a lot worse than it should have been. And then it's not even to mention on the other side of the coin, with Jacoby Brissett starting against you guys, how quickly that game turned around. It was 35-0 in a blink of an eye, right? Blink of an eye. And yes, two run-in fumbles or defensive plays that kind of turned it around on our heads and flipped it on our ear real quickly. Yes, but this goes beyond just those Seahawks games. We're outmatched, we're outcoached, we're out everything in every single facet of the imagination. So, yeah, don't crucify my guy, the truth. Good dude, awesome guy. But if you're watching every single game, you can tell that there's a lot of little things that kind of get us to this level here, unfortunately. But appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for being here, buddy. Losing in the chest is, remember when you thought Jacoby was the answer? The answer for a potential moving off of Kyler? Yeah, I do. Yeah. And guess what? They're doing it. Guess what? They're doing it. Now, Jacoby long-term? Never said that once ever. Never have I ever said that once, that Jacoby was a long-term answer. But if you want to twist it in a way that make you feel like you're right and you want to have a gotcha moment, that you spin it the way you want to spin it. But never ever once said that Jacoby Brissett was the answer. But did I ever say that Jacoby was actually running this offense better than Kyler did? I did. And guess what? Look at the contracts. That shouldn't be in even a result. Now, yes, these last few games, Jacoby hasn't looked really good. But at the other side of the coin, what do you expect from an $8 million, $9 million journeyman quarterback? What do you expect? I said this once and I'll say it again. He's a good backup quarterback. It's what he is. It's what he is. But never have I ever once said he's a future. Never ever once said to sign him on a contract, make him a multi-million-dollar quarterback. Never ever once said that. Nobody ever said JB was the answer. Long term. But here it is. Yeah. Is this the result of Kyler maybe giving you, but because let's be real, with this defense, what would Kyler have done? Let's be real. Let's be real. Would we be breaking records? Now, if you want to call it garbage time, you do what you want. You do what you want. But would Trey McBride be making history? Would Michael Wilson be on the map? No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. So because I said we're so back, that means that he's so with a comment of we're so back when they announced Jacoby as a starter, that's what that means. So you're taking we're so back after having Jacoby Brissett beat the Dallas Cowboys, right? So beat the Dallas Cowboys. That means I'm saying he's the answer long term. We beat the Cowboys, didn't we? We beat the Cowboys, didn't we? So losing sense. Let's do this. Let's do this. I want to get my guy Losing Sense on here. So let's do this. Let's open up the phone lines. Let's do this. I think it's that time. I want to open up the phone lines anyways. So Losing, jump on the stream. Would love to talk to you one-on-one without the chat. And you want to jump on? Come on in. I want to hear what you have to say, not on the chat. Come on in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the phone lines. Losing Sense, come on in. Here it is. Jump on in, or if anybody else wants to come on in, let's open up the phone lines. I want to hear from Losing Sense here in the chat. That's who I really want to hear from, and I never do. Hop on in. Come on in. Let us come on. Come on. All right. Let's go with Ryan first, but I'm giving a personal invitation to my guy Losing Sense to come on here right now. Personal invitation. Come on. We're going to start off with my guy Ryan, and then we're going to go ahead and keep it going. Let's go with Ryan. Ryan, you are live on the Easy Sports Fan here on YouTube. What's up, man? How are you feeling about the Arizona Cardinals here in 2025?
This year is a wash, honestly. Not
Yep.
gonna lie. Yesterday, I won't lie, I've raged harder than I ever have for the Cardinals season. It was ridiculous.
Yep.
Um, but I do agree with you. We said Jacoby Brissett was better at running the offense than Kyler Murray, but we never said that he was the answer.
Yep.
And the question is now, what do we address more at the draft? Do we go for a quarterback or do we go for offensive line to protect our future quarterback? Just there's a lot of options that we can do. So
Yeah.
at this point, we have to raise questions about what we're going to do for the next draft, and we'll have to see what coaching does because I don't want Gainer Petzing anymore.
Yeah.
Petzing has just pretty much cost himself a job with that game because against the Bengals defense that, let's be honest, was last in the league at everything, we kept going three and out, three and out, three and out.
It's crazy.
And yeah, it was ridiculous.
No, I
But
100%
ultimately,
agree. The situation that we're in right now, unfortunately, I think I said this earlier. I think it's so crazy because we can go any which direction, like anything. You can go linebacker, quarterback, wide receiver, offensive line, defensive line on the interior, anything, edge. Like that's how bad this roster is right now with obviously the injuries. But yeah, I agree, man. It's just people want to twist what you're saying. It's crazy to me. Nobody ever said he's this long term solution, but of course you got trolls in the chat to think that there's something. But anything else, man?
yeah,
Before they go,
yes. One big thing. During the game, I've heard the commentators say giving Gannon one more year
yeah,
because of all the injuries,
yep,
and I want to address that really quickly.
yep,
Injuries, no matter how many you have, I get Arizona has had a plethora of them, and it's been really, really bad. Injuries are part of the game, definitely. And at that point, it's all about coaching, getting the men prepared for a game plan, and Gannon and Petzing don't do that.
yeah,
All they do is just say what needs to be done, but there's no how. It's
yep,
like for example, the Bengals game. Okay, don't let Jamar Chase score. That's a good game plan. How are you going to implement that? Are you going to double team Chase? Are you going to put more pressure on Burrow so he doesn't have more time?
right.
There was just nothing. There was just, okay, just do this and let's see. And I'll be honest, if I have to look at Gannon's cross-armed stoic face one more time, I'm gonna sit.
No, I hear you, brother. I agree, man. Appreciate you, Ryan. Thanks, dude. Later.
All right, appreciate it. Have a good one.
Later. All right, let's keep it going. Actually, let's keep the phone lines going, man. If you want to jump on and you're not, because losing ain't coming in here. Let's be real. Losing ain't coming in here. Probably like, and here's the thing. I've actually engaged with my guy losing here on a couple different comments. I really like this avatar because that's actually Alkaline Trio, which I'm a big fan of that actual band. But I want him to jump on. I really do. I want to hear what he has to say and not through chat. Come on in, losing. If you're coming on, or if anybody else, jump on in and let me know what you're feeling. Because, like I said, it's easy to put something out there and say, "Oh, you believe this, you believe that." That's not ever what I once said ever. Ever once did I ever say he's the answer? Did I say he ran this offense more efficiently? He did. And guess what? Trey McBride is making history. Guess what? You now know who Michael Wilson is. You're welcome. You're welcome. And this run game isn't great. This offensive line is not great. Paris Johnson Jr. hasn't played for what, 2 games now, 3 games, and is not going to be playing in this next game as well. We haven't had our bookend left tackle. So with what he's doing, give a little grace to a backup quarterback that, is at least putting some numbers up there that, yes, you can call it garbage time, but still, there's some quarterbacks out there that can't even execute in garbage time. So give him a little credit for what it's due. Yeah, anybody. It doesn't have to be losing. I doubt losing is going to come in here. Losing, spending too much time putting paragraphs up in here and nobody's reading it. Losing since 1988. Come on in, let me know what you're feeling. But anybody else, whoever wants to jump in, just like my guy Ryan did, have a conversation and let me know how you guys are feeling. Put it in the chat. It is linked in the top of the chat, or I guess I thought it was. It's not, but let's do it again. There it is. Let's pin it. Come on in. All right, it's pinned on the chat. We're going to keep the phone lines open for a couple more, maybe 5 more minutes. If nobody comes in, then we'll just be closing up shop because I get it. Ain't nobody want to talk about this team right now, but it is what it is. But to sit here and flat out lie, and say I thought it was the answer is outlandish to me. John in the chat says Kyler can't win when it counts, but they don't care about that though. Renzo in the chat says, I think Red Bird could call better plays than Cincinnati's 5 touchdowns versus AZ's 4 first downs. That's fair. 100% fair. That's okay. Okay. Jump on in if you guys want to come on in. Phone lines are opened up. AZ, what's up, man? What's going on, Noah? He says, here's the thing. Marvin Harrison Jr. is not a bust because he doesn't have a proper coaching staff to be leading him, and the quarterback refuses to get him the ball. The whole thing with Marvin Harrison Jr., I get the debate. I really understand. I get both sides of the coin. You do expect something more from Marvin. I'm not calling him a bust myself, but yes, that narrative is going to continuously follow him unless he fixes the things that get everybody really pissed off. You know what I mean? Stop jumping. Stop jumping. Stop catching with your body. Catch with your hands, right? Those are the type of things that you want to see better from Marvin. So I'm not calling him a bust, but I get both sides of the coin. I do. Marvin has too many drops, though. Fair. Like I said, I get both sides of the coin. Marvin Harrison Jr. is weak. I get it. Like I said, I'm not calling him a bust, though. Dong. What's up, Dong? Bidwill needs to be gone, needs a new coaching staff. Bidwill ain't going anywhere. That's the problem, right? I see a lot of people out there saying he needs to sell. I agree. He does need to sell. He's not going to. That's the problem. He's not going to. Unless every single Cardinal fan get into a situation where they actually come to a kumbaya and come to one single consensus, which is boycott this organization, he will not sell. Because there's a portion of the fan base that doesn't listen to podcasts. There's a portion of the fan base that doesn't listen to anything else but what the Cardinals do. And they think that this organization cannot do no wrong. And if they have that portion of the fan base, that's still about 25, 30, hell, maybe even 40, 50% of the fan base there. They're always going to have something. So he's never going to sell. It is what it is. We need to get decision makers in here that know what the hell they're doing. And Gannon doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And Monty doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Simple, point blank. He doesn't. Naeem in the chat says Dante Moore is our option. I love the option. I just don't know if he's declaring. That's the kind of situation that we're in right now. I just don't know if he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna declare. Or sorry, I don't know if he's gonna declare. Not that I don't think he's going to. I don't know if he's going to declare. I don't know if Ty Simpson's going to declare. Right now, the only quarterback I know right now that most likely will is going to be Fernando Mendoza, because people have him as a consensus number 1 overall pick. Here we go. We got another guy. We got Javier. Yeah, let's get Javier up in here. Javier, you're live on the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Talk to me, Javier. How are you doing? How are you feeling about the Arizona Cardinals?
Hey, Mike, I don't know. At this point, I don't know. Should we try to get the Bears to move here? They're looking for a home. Maybe we could just... But no, all kidding aside, and I wish I could take credit for this, but I can't. So I know another sports show here in Arizona, the guy said, fan base, do not fall for it. If they're going to try to bring him back because of injuries, then you should ask yourself, then why should Gannon make a change, right? he shouldn't make no changes at his step at that point. If they're gonna blame it on injuries, Petzing should come back, Rollins should come back because this is all caused to injuries, not because they weren't doing their job. So please, the fan base needs to don't fall for that kind of crap.
Yeah, agree.
And also, I know you're not a big fan of trading Marvin Harrison Jr., but it may not be it may be the better time because teams still may not know what he really is. So are you taking a
Fair.
gamble as to where you may be trading a guy that maybe is good? Maybe, but then you're also maybe gonna get more than if you wait a third year. But that's kind of it. And I'll just drop off now to hear
No,
what you got to say.
no, you're very, very fascinating points. Appreciate you, Javier, man, as always, man. Thank you, dude. Later.
Mhm.
I agree, man. I don't know if I was the guy that you originally heard it from. I don't know if it was or not, but it might not be. But I think I do remember saying BS excuse. Injuries is a BS excuse. Honestly, like nothing makes sense of what the Cardinals are going to decide to do. Nothing makes sense. Like you want to give him 1 year contingent of you being a playoff, but you want him to get your guy. Well, where is that guy coming from? Monty Austinford hasn't proved that he can be a big time. Let me get this quarterback coming in our direction. He also hasn't proved that he can, get somebody in free agency that works, with the exception of Josh Sweat, Mac Wilson Sr., and I'll put Kazir White up there as well. But and also on the aspect of it all, we're sitting at the 5th overall pick. Are you trading up, losing draft capital when we really haven't seen that as well? Like, and then when you get that said guy, you're supposed to make the playoffs. Well, who's going to be the better option right now? Malik Willis, Mac Jones? Who's the better option in free agency? Aaron Rodgers? Like who? Right? Or if you bring in a rookie, your contingent is that you didn't make the playoffs. You're literally kicking the can down the road. That's all you're doing. None of this timeline makes sense. Do not get it twisted. Do not believe what they're saying. It's not injuries. It's not fully injuries. Yes, that's a part of it. That is a part of what the situation is. But the Cardinals are constantly getting out coached week in and week out. It is what it is. It sucks, but that is the circumstances that we're in right now. But yeah, I agree with the Marvin Harrison Jr. thing. I get it. It's just, what are we going to get back? That's the big question out there, right? That's the big question. What are we going to get back? I doubt it's a first round pick. And here's the thing. Does Monty Austinfort, if he stays here, because I think Monty stays over JG, right? And the rest of his minions. I think Monty stays. Does Monty admit to his fault that he might have made a mistake in the eyes of if he did this direction and just kind of give him up? Like, what do we get for him? Do you think we're going to get a first round pick for him? I doubt it. Do you think we get a second round pick for him? I don't know. I don't know what we get. I don't know what the value is for Marvin. So whatever the situation is, if it happens, okay, then we'll F the jersey I bought, right? Just, I guess I'll use it as Tinder. But I just don't know what the value we're going to get back is. And I feel like that loses a hole that the Cardinals need, because even if you call Marvin a second wide receiver and not the generational talent what it is, then we're missing out on a second wide receiver that who's going to be the guy? Who? So I don't know, man. I get it. I understand it. I just feel like it puts us in a much bigger hole, because even if you want to call him wide receiver 1 or wide receiver number 2, then you lose out on one of those two guys. Let's say you get a second round pick. Is somebody going to be better than Marvin Harrison Jr. in round 2? Maybe it's a gamble, but you just never know. You never know. Naeem says Trey McBride is the next Travis Kelce. Yeah, I can tell. I mean, definitely the best tight end in the NFL right now for sure. Best tight end in the NFL. Unfortunately, the circumstances that we're living in right now, yeah, it is what it is, right? Season hasn't turned out the way we wanted it to. 3 wins on a potential 14-loss season is brutal, man. It really is. But I don't believe my guy is coming in. I don't believe my guy is coming in. Nope, I do not believe he's coming in. So Losing wanted to come in here and start a ruckus, but not back it up. Shame. Shame, shame, shame. Here we go. This is my guy keep losing.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Had to give you the shame bell, man. Come on in, man. Come in. One thing I will say is back up, man. Back it up. Easy to be a keyboard warrior, right? Easy to be a keyboard warrior. Come on in. It's not like we're gonna have a crazy debate. I just want to hear what your mind process is and what you really heard that me saying. Me posting something saying we're so back when I see Jacoby Brissett putting up the numbers that we did because now we know who Michael Wilson is and now we know Trey McBride is crushing records. Well, you want me to come out here and say, "Oh, we made a mistake. Kyler should have finished off the season." What? Give me 3 more wins? You get paid that much, you better win the damn division once in a while. Give me that. And you didn't do that either. So it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that note, let's close up shop. It is what it is. Another troll coming in here doesn't want to back it up. They want to stay behind the keyboard. It is what it is. All right, everybody. Cardinals lose another game, 8 straight losses, and now they are on the possibility of having 9 straight losses. Let's be real. I don't think anybody has any faith that the Cardinals are going to beat the Rams. It does feel like this is the worst game we've seen Jacoby Brissett play, as well as the rest of the team. The tackling sucked. You lose to a 5-win team before they beat us. And they were also seen as a not good team as well. But they look clear consensus better than the Arizona Cardinals yesterday. That definitely proves a lot. All right, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I appreciate everybody for being here. Smack the like button here on your way out. We had over 100 people at one point on a Monday when this season absolutely sucks. So I appreciate everybody for being in here. Smack the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We're on the road to 19K. Cannot do it without you guys. As always, have a great rest of your day. And go Cardinals. Later, guys.